Hi guys, welcome to another video. So Canada is failing to meet its commitments to NATO. Its GDP ratio spending for the Department of Defense is falling short of where it should be. And Canada is just not recruiting enough people to the military to maintain its current commitments. So the latest harebrained scheme is to recruit 300,000 people to join what is called the supplementary reserve, which is different from the primary reserve. The supplementary reserve, which I believe currently only has about 4,000 people in it, is a list of former serving members who are not in the primary reserve, but who are willing to be called back should the need arise. So Canada's latest scheme is to recruit 300,000 to bolster these numbers. Now, where are they going to find these 300,000 people? The chief of the defense staff, Jenny Carignan, has suggested that the federal civil service can be trained up to do this, to find, to fill these 300,000 spots. 300,000 federal civil servants, people who are reluctant to return to the office 5 days a week, who are members of a union, are expected, or is the target group for these people to join the Canadian military. They've since stepped back a little bit, and these 300,000 spots will be open to absolutely everybody. This just makes Canada look bad. This just makes us look weak. The Canadian government's commitment to the Canadian forces, to the men and women in uniform, is pitiful at best. The recent Canadian federal budget has cut, or will cut, funding to Veterans Affairs Canada by $4 billion over the next several years. We do not live in a country that has pride in its military, a military that fought at Vimy Ridge, that has served on every single United Nations peacekeeping mission since the founding of the United Nations, that has served proudly alongside its NATO allies in Afghanistan. Moves like this do not serve the members of the Canadian forces. Recently, Jenny Carignan, the general, the chief of the defense staff, was lamenting how people are being treated historically in the Canadian forces, talking about systemic discrimination. And in true Trudeau fashion, she started crying. She wept. That is not a sign of leadership. That is a sign of failure, that you do not know what you are doing and you are not the right person for the job. I don't care what gender you are. We need a chief of the defense staff who can instill leadership, who can instill a sense of pride in the Canadian forces, not to stand up in front of the national media and weep. The Canadian forces, like any military in the world, the primary role of the military is the professional delivery of violence. No matter what it might be involved in on a day-to-day basis, that is the role of the Canadian military. When I was going through infantry training, they told us, they drilled into us that the primary objective of the infantryman is to close with and destroy the enemy. It wasn't there to weep. It wasn't there to lament over how bad things have been for other people. We need a leader who is willing to stand up in front of the Canadian forces, in front of the men and women who are serving, in front of Canada, and instill a sense of pride, not to weep. Coming up with harebrained schemes to employ 300,000 civil servants is not going to fix the Canadian forces. We need a leadership that will bring back a sense of pride, that will make people want to join. Cutting the federal budget, cutting the budget to Veterans Affairs Canada, making troops live in just squalid conditions on bases will not fix the problem. Thankfully, a pay raise was recently awarded to members of the Canadian forces, a much deserved and pay raise, which should have come years ago. That's the beginning. That's one step. We need leadership that will bring back pride. We do not need to hire 300,000 civil servants. We need people to want to join the Canadian military. We need leadership. It's like you want to scream, come on, guys, let's do better than this. Let's do much, much better than this. Let's fund the guys properly. Let's make people want to join. Let's instill a sense of national pride back into the Canadian military. Let's start looking after our people. Making them the laughing stock of the world will not do that. Anyway, guys, thanks for making it to the end. Let me know what you think. Do you think this idea to hire 300,000 civil servants is a good one? Do you think we're doing enough for our men and women in uniform? Drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And until the next one, take care of yourselves.